to Nomad at Night, starring the one and only Nomad.
Yo, what's up, Nomaniacs? Good evening. This is Nomad at Night. Got a special mock draft Monday for you guys, starring my guy J2K, who is here with us. Again, welcome, man. This seems like we live on a podcast right about now, man. It's like we are constantly live, constantly feeding out, pumping out content, and it's actually kind of fun, man. So we love you guys being here all the time for us and welcoming us every time we go live. I appreciate you guys so much. But before I get carried away and long-winded, let me go around the horn and start with my guy Chris Washington. Give his pleasantries right quick.
Hi, everybody in the chat. It's good to see you guys again. Didn't seem that long ago that I was with you. It is good to have J2K with us tonight, man. After a week delay, we got him back live and in living color. He's going to kill this mock draft tonight. And so, hey, hello again, once again, everybody in the chat. My other brothers, kids, Mr. Brian. The dude is in the back handling his business. Nomad, even you, man. It's good to see you.
You need to be seen. Go ahead, kid.
And not viewed.
That's right. Kids, you must be muted, man.
Me and the damn mute button aren't friends today. Happens every so often. In any event, No Maniacs, what's cracking? Good to see you guys in the chat. We got one of your own, yours truly or his truly. J2K's in the building. We're gonna mock it up again here on a Monday. Should be some fun. I know J2K's deep with it, so we should see some really cool stuff. No pressure, J2K. No pressure.
Good evening, No Maniacs. How y'all doing this evening? Let's get to it. It's Monday night. It is Monday night mock draft. Are y'all ready? Let's get to it. J2K in the house. Man, it's a pleasure. I'm excited to see what trades you take tonight, if you take any at all.
Oh, absolutely. Jay Grizz is totally right in the chat. I do believe in the haul. And thanks to you guys for having me on, and to everybody in the chat, all my nomadic brothers. We're going to get it done tonight. Let's go.
Well, I'll tell you what, J2K, since you weren't with us live when we did Nomad Live earlier, and the news that Peter King broke, I guess it's probably I look at this as an opportunity to see. I kind of knew what you were thinking in the chat while I was doing the show. And how about this, man? You're live on the show now. You want to give your take on how that played out? What do you make of it, or anything along those lines?
Well, I think he's right on. I think it's a smart evaluation of what polls should do. I don't know if he necessarily has an inside scoop or if it's just his opinion, but I think it's a smart opinion. And there is a point. I got actually a slideshow for you guys, which is a little treat that I made for you all. But in that, you see that we only have 6 picks. We've got this huge gap from pick 9 until pick 75. And to fill all the needs that we have, you have to trade back, and it just makes so much sense.
And see, that's, I think, getting people to really picture it and frame it in the way that you just said it. What did you say? 9 to 75, the weight in between. So I didn't really even frame it. I never framed it that way. And when we were talking about it in context, but that is a long ass wait, man. That's a really long ass wait to be able to fill your roster and fill the holes with the kind of pieces that you look to sign it with. And so when you frame it that way, I think that just adds another layer to it, man, because it gets really elementary when you look at it that way. It's like, what you come here to do, Ryan Poles? You said you were going to build this team through the draft, right? You were going to build a champion through the draft. Here you are with this unique opportunity that I've never really seen before in my lifetime. I don't know throughout the whole history of the NFL. I mean, the closest comparison that I can give to it is the 90s Jimmy Johnson Dallas Cowboys, but I don't even know if that's the right way. I mean, that's about the best comparison you can make to it. But when you frame it that way, J2K, from 9 to 75 doesn't really, you're gonna still be able to get some pretty decent players at 75, but not quite the caliber of player that you can get in between 9 and 75. They can put some nice blue chip pieces on the board if they do what we think they're gonna do. What do you think?
Yeah, and you brought up the Dallas Cowboys, and they had that Herschel Walker trade, and this is the next coming of the Herschel Walker trade, and we have it sitting in our laps, so we got to take it. It makes too much sense.
Chris, you got in, man. You got something there, don't you?
No, I had to step away for a minute. Uh, I'm just back.
Well,
I'm back, and the man speaking the truth. We need the haul,
well,
all of the haul.
Kid, you want to mess with that?
I had nothing to say, man. I said everything I needed to say a little bit earlier today, man. You guys keep going because that haul is what it's all about. Peter King laid it down, and I don't see. Here's the one thing that I do want to say. Folks are kind of saying that the last haul was the haul. That's one of the lines I'm hearing out there. The last haul with DJMoore. That was the haul. Getting us this pick. That only brings us even, right? Because we spent to get Justin in the first place, right?
Mm-hmm.
That just brings us even. So now we're just about neck and neck with where the Lions are. And if we get a little bit more, man, that's it.
Keith, I know you're ready to go, man, but I think this is a GM in his best wet dream as a teenager. Couldn't dream up this scenario and so advantageous to himself. I don't know that you can put yourself in a better position. When I started off this podcast, actually I started over there at BCP, and I was telling him then when we got polls and Flus, I felt like things were starting to align, man. And it was just my instinct speaking. When my instincts tell me something, I speak it live on one of these shows, and that's the only thing that's happened since then is a furtherance of it. And right now, if you're talking about the stars and moon and everything being aligned for the Bears for the first time in my lifetime, this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. The opportunity is just so unique. But my bad, Keith. Go ahead, man. I know you got something to say there.
Well, for me, I'm just excited over the fact when I really reflect on the totality of everything. When you look at the team, the organization, I mean, we're just in the best spot that we could ever have been in as far as an organization. Finally got some real football minds in the front office. I think we finally have the best assemble of coaches on both sides of the football. Well, actually, all three sides, because we often don't speak about special teams, but that's important as well. And then I think we have the opportunity to really take full advantage of what we currently have on the roster and build upon that. So I'm just excited about this upcoming season. And you are absolutely correct. If I'm Ryan Poles and I'm literally licking my chops. It's like I got this big tomahawk steak that's just been marinating, and now I get a chance to put it on the grill, man. And when I take that baby off, it's just when I cut into it, it's gonna taste so flavorful, and everybody's gonna envy that steak, and they're gonna want a piece of it. I hate to say it, but I'm
Man,
not
don't
sharing
start
it with
talking
nobody.
about food. I'm over here starving.
I'm sorry, man.
Please
I'm sorry,
stop,
Chris.
man. I'm over here
I
starving.
digress. I always digress sometime and get to elaborating on some food. But anyway,
could be on a full stomach. You start talking about a ribeye, man. I'm gonna salivate, man. God.
oh, brother, look, we're not gonna do that right now. This is not what the show's about.
All right. I tell you what. Well, so J2K got his off-season mocked up and everything for us. He's got it all. Basically, we usually go and do a show and we just tell you what we did in the off-season, kind of give you an idea of why we're doing what we're doing in the draft. But J2K took this one a step further, and he's going to illustrate it. So what I'm going to do right now is shut my dang mouth, hand it off to Chris, and let he and J2K take it from here.
Yeah, listen, J2K is a guest on the show,
For
but
now.
he has got to be the guest of the year on the show because Homeboy did homework while he was away and came back with super graphics and everything. So believe me, I'd shout him out and tip my hat to his work. He did a heck of a job. So
Thank you, Chris.
J2K, you let me know what you want, man.
Hey, we want to jump right into it. We can go. This is my mock off season, and I got a slideshow for you guys. And I thought it was important to do this because the cap went up, so we've got more money to play with, and I kind of wanted to show exactly what you get for what we have available, and I wanted to keep this as realistic as possible. So I did get a lot of guys that come from teams that we have coaches from, and whenever you're ready, Chris.
Which makes a lot of sense, man.
What they're saying is J2K ain't messing around. That's what they're saying.
That's right. And hey, you want to pop us up on the left-hand side? I actually made room for us. So,
all right,
yeah. So first off, I got Drew Lock, and I think when you look at offensive coordinators who go from one team to another team, they always love bringing over a quarterback that knows their offense. And I like this signing because, one, he's cheap, he knows the offense, and I think he's a better prospect or a better option at backing up Justin than Bagent is. And I'm not off of Bagent. I still really like Bagent, but I'd really like him to spend a little more time, especially in another brand new offense, learning and growing as a quarterback.
Can I say something, J2K?
Yeah, please.
Because I think I think the Raiders are going to make a play for Bagent because Getsy's there. I think that was Getsy's pick. To be quite frank with you, I don't know how tied in the Bears are with him per se, but I think the Raiders may make a play for him somehow, some way.
Yeah, that could happen. I know we have him on a 3-year contract because he was a UDFA. So, I mean, he's super cheap. I think we can stash him on the practice squad, but if the Raiders come knocking, that might be a way they could pull him from us.
No question about it. If he goes to the practice, that's probably what they'll wait for him to do, is see if he goes to the practice squad first. If not, they may make a play for him.
Yeah. And another thing about Drew Lock, he's still relatively young, and I think his best ball might be ahead of him. He's got a great arm. His biggest issues is just his accuracy or decision making more so than accuracy. And now that he's kind of becoming a vet, I think there's still upside. And for $2 million, a little more than $2 million a year, I see this as a done deal. And this is something that I see happening. A lot of these picks that I'm making are things that I anticipate happening more so than it's my guy or something I would like. And Chris, do you want to throw us up on the left-hand side?
Yeah, I'm trying to work on that right now.
All right, no worries.
By the way, man, you were right, man. I think as he's
an overlay that won't work.
You can't make this a background?
I can.
You'd have to add it back in.
Hold on just a second, guys.
All right. Well, let's let him work and try to see what he can do with that, man. But I think you're right. Drew Lock has really matured in the league lately, and when I get to see him play, I see a very mature quarterback. He plays some good football. To me, to be quite honest with you, it wasn't to me when I watched him in Seattle recently when something happened to Geno Smith and he went down. I didn't see that much of a drop off.
No, neither did I.
Yeah, his last game he was clutch. He looked good.
Yes, I like this pick, man. I think we need system capable quarterbacks he can help Justin Fields in a big way. In a big way. He won't be learning a completely new playbook because the West Coast offense has its tenets and its core plays to it that won't go anywhere no matter who's running it. But there'll probably be some new language, some new sets, and different things like that. He can definitely help speed that up for Justin Fields for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And Waldron, he's got his own kind of creative twist to it as well.
Here's your guy, Evan Brown, man.
Oh, my bad.
That's all good.
I was just getting it together. All right, we can go back to Drew Lock.
Well, you think Bagent winds up in Vegas?
I think so.
I think he could. But at the same time, I know there's a rule right now that you can dress 3 quarterbacks, and the third quarterback doesn't count against the 53 on the roster for game day.
That's
But
right.
I'm not sure how it affects the actual practice squad. So, I would play around. I think Drew Lock is a better option if Justin Fields goes down than Tyson Bagent, and I do like Bagent's upside, but I wouldn't risk if Fields went down in Game 4 and he's out for 6 weeks. I would rather have Drew Lock, who knows the offense, to come in than Tyson Bagent, that guy is still so young. And I do like Bagent. I just, I want to stop, throwing these kids into the fire like we did with Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Man,
That's not
speaking
today's
to the
NFL.
choir, man.
Hey, I hear that in a deep way, man. I just think I know the value in getting a veteran quarterback behind a guy that's learning the offense. That's a huge benefit. And I don't think there's a doubt in my mind if the opportunity presents itself, they make a play for Drew Lock. So this is very realistic, in my opinion. What they do with Tyson Bagent is anybody's guess. I think, be quite frank with you, man, I think he's probably going to end up going because he fits what Getsy wants to do and the style of play that he wants to present, man. It's best to let that kid go to somewhere where he'll have an opportunity faster than one here where he probably won't ever do anything but really kind of help listen to plays on the sidelines once Drew Lock is there.
Well, in actuality, he'll be more in the same position as Drew Lock would be coming over to the Bears, where he can go to Las Vegas and help communicate the offense that Getsy is trying to implement, since he is aware of Getsy's system. So, either way, it's if he stays, great. If not, it's all good. It's all love. He's got talent.
All right, let's move on. I guess we can move on to Evan Brown. You okay with that, J2K?
Or the
Actually,
next
it's
one's
not-
actually.
Yeah, it's not Evan
Oh, my
Brown.
bad. Okay.
All right. I dug around at different guys who are free agents for Seattle, and I found this. I love this signing. He's cheap, but go check out the film. He's awesome. So not only is he a running back, but he's also a very good punt returner. As a running back, he is an awesome third down specialist. He played wide receiver and running back in college. He has great hands. He's a little tank. Like, he's
Miami.
got power. Yes. And he's shifty. Now, he doesn't have home run speed, but he's shifty and he's got great vision. And when you guys get a chance, go YouTube this guy and see what he's got. I love the way he plays. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Blake Corum, and a little more so in the roles that he fills. So, no more was it Trevor Taylor, the wide receiver we had, who was a punt returner, and that's all he really did. Now we've got a third running back who's a great third down back, and he returns punts. We're filling 2 roster spots with one guy at a very cheap deal. And this doesn't mean I'm out on drafting a running back, because we still have Travis Homer. Homer is making, I think, $2 million this year. We could move on from him. And I think
Please.
DJ Dallas is a much better option, and he's actually cheaper.
I love the actual specific contract. He's got this stuff down to a science, how he mapped out how to spend this money. But I love I just like that part of it, man. I just had to say that. But as far as I'm concerned, DJ Dallas, I loved him when he came out of Miami. Absolutely loved him. One of my favorite running backs coming out. Fast, physical, got everything you want. Good hands. Can block in pass pro, man. He's everything you want in the back. He just, some people might say he's not a starting running back, but I think every starting running back started somewhere. Sometimes they don't get that opportunity to really shine until 3 or 4 years into their careers. And I look at DJ Dallas completely different than the average. Like I look at Travis Homer, even though Travis Homer never really got touches while he was here with the Bears, he's still here. But I believed in what his capability was if given an opportunity. And so same thing I feel about DJ Dallas. I think he's probably probably a peg up in as far as level of play than Travis Homer is. Be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not gonna brutalize this. Let's see where you're going with this, because I know you got the financial square. There's a whole lot of extra money that just came in, so I expect that you've got some hidden gems here too. Personally, I think we can do a heck of a lot better than DJ Dallas if the need be, but I'm with it.
I think the contract, that he played last year from Seattle had a lot to do with it, didn't it, J2K?
Yes, and he knows the offense.
Right.
So you're bringing in a guy who's, day one, he's going to be what I call a glue guy. He just sticks everywhere you need a guy to come in. And, he's a little tank. So I think he can still run the ball. He can still be a bit of a power back at times. From what I saw, from the way he plays, he's a gamer. When he gets opportunities, he makes plays. So at this cost, and also I do really like the running backs in this draft, and there's some late round running backs that I like. And if I can get 4 running backs on this team this year, and then Herbert leaves next year because he's in his last year of his contract, we could make a splash signing, or we could draft a guy high. But in the time being, I love that. I feel that we can have 4 strong running backs for injuries and the like.
You know something, J2K? I think, and I said this a couple times on the show now. Don't know which show it was, but I said this, and I can see I keep repeating this stuff, and next thing you know, it starts to become reality. I'm telling you, I think Tyler Lockett could become a cap casualty and end up here. If they can get that dude here, you're talking about speeding up the process of everybody, especially the skill position guys, especially the receivers. You're talking about speeding up the process. You grab him, you grab someone like DJ Dallas, and plus Drew Lock. You get an illustration of how you're supposed to run certain things, the distance and width of that you're supposed to run a route and things like that. Little detail stuff that when you plan a game in a system, you have to kind of absorb that kind of stuff. So let's just say, you call a play in the huddle and it's basically a halfback flare out. Mm-hmm. And so how to get the right proper width on the play, and so that the ball that he's going to throw to you is in the right spot every time. That's the kind of stuff that you get experienced people into your system that know exactly what he's asking for. Those are the benefits to it. Small stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Absolutely. And then plus at 1.7 mil, let's just say that would be the case. That's not a lot of money, So.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Player number 3, we're moving on.
And tight end Noah Fant, I think he's a great fit. We have the need for a move tight end. And I hear a groan.
No, you know what?
That's a good groan.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
J2K, this was one of our guys, I believe, in just about every franchise mode we did. We signed Noah Fant in the offseason.
Yeah.
So and I think we all agree with that.
Yeah.
And that was before they hired Shane Waldron.
Right. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a great fit. And, it just goes back to, I want to start game 1 with this offense rolling. Mm-hmm. So this is what I'm trying to do. And I know the Shy in the chat said I'm making the Seattle Bears. Chris Cook is saying that and stuff. And it is true. But this is what you do as offensive coordinator. When you go from one team to another, you bring your guys with you.
You got to install. You got to install and do it. You got to do it in an expedient fashion.
Yes.
Absolutely. We had to taste the cheese, bear cheese, last year.
Yes. Yeah.
The last 2 years.
I do love this, and
I like it.
Yeah. All right.
Well, this is definitely a better signing than Tunyon, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, I didn't have a problem with Tunyon, man. I don't think.
Man, please.
I don't think he was schemed up right.
Well, that didn't cause him to drop that pass at the end.
Right.
I wasn't mad at him until he dropped that.
If you want to beat him to sleep for that, you can beat him to sleep for it. But
yeah,
I'm gonna knock him out.
Beat to sleep.
Go ahead, J2K. Don't let us get into this.
Oh no, you guys are good. Actually, Noah Fant, I think he's a great fit. So I mean, we could go on to the next one. And I do know we're making the Seattle Bears here, but I do think it's important. And it's not just what I'm thinking that I would like to do. It's what I think that Shane Waldron wants. So he's going to go to Poles and Flus are going to sit down and say, how can we speed up this offense and be rolling game one? And it's with these guys like Evan Brown. He knows the offense. He knows the balls. Yeah, and look, these guys aren't expensive. I'm not blowing the cap here. And so this gives us opportunities, and you'll see, I've got a big signing and a whole idea around this. But for the offense, I'm bringing in glue guys who are going to be starters or they're going to be major contributors. Even, Drew Lock and DJ Dallas, they're not going to be starters, but they're going to contribute to this team just through, their experience in the offense and being knowing what Waldron wants and what Waldron does. So Evan Brown, I think he's one thing I want to point out, offensive linemen, especially centers, these guys age like fine wine. They get better. And you get into that 27 to 30 year range. This is actually the prime of their career. And so I know Evan Brown, he was with Detroit, and then he went to Seattle. Now, I think you're going to have a quality center who's going to start game one. I really want to get, a starting center out of the draft, but I don't want a starting center to start day one. I want Evan Brown to come in there, make the line calls, and give time for that rookie to grow, just so we're not throwing everybody into the fire. So I like this signing.
I think that's a great signing. I believe he's one of the possible day one of free agents and signings right there. That guy right there. Absolutely.
Couldn't agree more.
All I care about right now is stability. Right now at the center position, stability, continuity, and experience is key for me too. But I wouldn't say I think experience is at the top of my list, but I just need continuity and some. You just need durability too, man. We just had too many people in and out. Mm-hmm. You just need somebody to be rock steady in there, and you can count on every week.
It needs some nastiness. We need a gangster at center, man. We need a real gangster, somebody that ain't gonna allow Justin to just take these, late hits and just stand around and look and go and reach out and stand, give a hand to pick him up. I want somebody to go and get a flag, man. Okay, we'll take 15 yards, but we're gonna bust you upside your head next time you do that.
Right.
Evan Brown's that guy, but in any event, Evan Brown definitely knows the offense. I'd be with it. He's the type of guy, by way of dollars and cents here as well. Perfect guy to bring in. You draft that other guy and you let him learn the system, and then you throw him in and make sure that he's that guy who's going to bust heads and protect his quarterback. That's really what you want. But either way, he definitely knows what's going on with Shane Waldron. So I'm fully in with this one too.
So all we have left is a player or two, and then we can go ahead and get cooking on this mock. What we have left.
All right, so this is my big signing.
Oh, Jesus.
The whole cap on him.
Oh, Jesus. There we go.
Very big signing.
There we go.
Yes. How often does a defensive end like this hit free agency? It's rare. It's never. This is an opportunity to create what I think can be a top 5 defense game one. And playoff defense. Even if Drew Lock was our quarterback, we could get to the playoffs with a defense with Danielle Hunter in there. Now, I know that he is kind of expensive. And then just a heads up, with the cap price and all this, I did add, the cap went up about 13.4%. So I did increase the amount per year. So I might be overpaying for these guys. I know that Over the Cap, the website, hasn't updated their prices, but I wanted to keep this realistic so I'm not just signing a whole bunch of people and then we find out that, the price for the player went up as well when the cap goes up. I mean, it's inflation. It happens across the board. But I absolutely love this. A couple other things, when you look at other defensive ends, I think Brian Burns is going to get franchise tagged. I think Jonathan Allen is going to get franchise tagged. And
Allen's not out of contract.
Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Hold on, Oliver, man, come on, man. When did 29 put you in the senior citizen zone? Come on, man.
He had
He's not at the high rise.
28 sacks in the last 2 years. He had 16 and a half last year. I mean, this guy is still balling. And hey, I mean, yes, he is a little bit up there in age, but this is a window we're talking about. We're talking about a playoff window, 3 years with this guy and Sweat. I'm all for it. And this is a big signing. This is our biggest signing you'll see. And outside of this guy, defensive ends, you're looking at Chase Young, Leonard Floyd, AJ Espinosa. I don't think those guys are really starters, or at least Leonard Floyd and Chase Young. Those are guys who are 1-year deals realistically. AJ's probably a little more of a backup. I think Jonathan Grenard is going to get re-signed from Houston. They have the money, and if you're Houston and they're smart over there, they're not going to let a defensive end go to free agency. So they're going to sign him long term.
And he had a little bit of injury problem too last year. Even though he had great numbers, he was hurt a little bit.
12 and a half sacks, but he only played 43% of the snaps over the year.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, and then you also question, what did he do the 2 years prior to that? Is he a 1-year wonder?
Exactly.
So, when I look at defensive ends that are available, Danielle Hunter is sitting there right at the top, and it's so rare that a guy like this hits free agency. And normally he would be 25 million if you go to over the cap. I put 28 because that's the 13.4% increase. But I still love the signing.
Spot Track has him at 20 million.
I wonder, J2K, did you, because we talked about this a couple times on the show. Matter of fact, we got into some real good depth on this the other night, other day, as a matter of fact. And we were talking about you might have to, this is an actual real scenario that may actually take place when that, it's some pretty good smoke around Detroit wanting Danielle Hunter, and we might might turn into an arms race. You don't want your rival, your top rival, to be stronger than you are, and you might have to overpay to get him in your building. And so I don't know if you considered that when you did this, but that's just something to think about.
Oh, when you're fighting in the division for free agency, you want to win.
Man, I could see this actually playing out. Maybe not at this higher dollar amount, but I can see this playing out, and they having to overspend to get Danielle Hunter in this building.
Yes, and even still, I think when you see my list of complete free agents, you'll see that I was able to use the cap that we have and still fill this team out pretty well.
Yeah, I like it.
That's why I ain't jumping down your throat about these numbers.
I know, kids. I was anticipating you saying something about the price. But,
man, like I'm saying, I worry about the age, but it's still prime age, so it's okay. Like I'm not gonna tear him down. But at the same time, I would love this if this was somewhere closer to the MontezSweat number, if not a little bit lower. That's just
right.
All right.
Anybody else, or we need to go ahead and get cracking?
Nope.
All right. We got 2 guys left. So JaylonJohnson, and just for sake of arguments,
tagged him. Okay.
I franchise tagged him. Now the cap for franchise tag, it did go up to 19.8. I did see that. And I think realistically, with the cap going up, this is a relatively close number. Maybe we can get him for $18 million a year for a multi-year contract, but he's a top 5 cornerback, and franchise tag is for top 5 players.
Is that?
Well, Poles did say that these words, and I quote, "Jalen isn't going anywhere." How he planned on achieving that is anybody's guess. We assume that they're going to try and get a contract done, but Jalen is sending signals on Twitter. I seen him a couple of times the other night. He was pretty active on Twitter, saying, that we at kind of an impasse. Is kind of the message he was saying, and so I believe that there are conversations being made, and conversations I had about JaylonJohnson getting the contract done, but where they are with them sounds to me from Jaylon's way he does cryptic stuff on there and kind of lets you into what might be going on with him in that situation, and it does really sound like they're in an impasse. And if they don't get it done pretty soon, man, I think they're going to end up with the tag on it.
And I do think we're going to sign him long term. I just, for the sake of not creating some false numbers and stuff, I just wanted to put this in there for a placeholder, so to speak, so you get an idea. And again, I may be high on these numbers. I'd rather be higher on these numbers and be more realistic than be low and sign a bunch of guys that we just won't realistically sign.
But you know what? I think with the impasse with him, I don't think it's so much the money as it might be the years.
Right. Right.
I bet any kind of money is the money.
He probably want a 4-year deal, and the Bears are probably trying to push for a 5.
No.
And he's probably looking for a 4-year deal so he can try to get a second contract before he hits the age of 30.
I bet any kind of money is the money getting up front.
I don't, because even at the franchise tag, they're going to pay him 19. So, I mean, worst case, you fall in somewhere between that 18 and 19.8 for long term. I think it's the years. I guarantee you the Bears are trying to press it for 5 to 6 years, at least 5 years, and he probably wants a shorter contract.
Well,
Guaranteed.
Keith, he's going to sign for more than $18 million guaranteed.
Oh, I know that. I know that. He's not getting 21.
We ain't going to get hung up on it too long, man. We 37 minutes into it. We disagree on that.
Yeah. Here's my one. It's my favorite. Maybe my second favorite signing, J2K.
Nice. Yes. So Julian Blackmon for $9 million, and I think Sport Track has him at $8 million, but with that bump up that I did for inflation on the cap rising, I love this signing. Flus knows him. He knows Flus's defense. Flus started him as a rookie 3rd-round draft pick. I know Flus loves this kid. He's confident in him. So I just think he's a final piece. And when you look at our defense, where do we have a hole at a starter? We have 0 holes with Danielle Hunter and Blackmon at free safety. 0 holes. So game 1, we're starting with a top 5 defense, a playoff defense.
All right.
I like this one.
Nice. Okay, and then
all over it.
Nice. Cap space. I actually took the low number that I've been seeing. I've been seeing 80 to 83 million. Again, I'm trying to buffer this so I'm more realistic. We do have some potential cap cuts that we can make that gives us another 9. Basically, in the end, it gives us a rookie contract amount of about 18 million, which we really do need that 18 million if we are going to trade back, just because first round high draft picks are 7 to 6 million each. Second round, you're talking 4 million. So we need to anticipate if we do trade back, we do get a haul, that we do have enough money sitting there.
I like it.
Then these are just draft needs. I won't get too into this because as we do the draft, you'll see me picking these guys. But one thing I do want to point out with the draft picks, this is why we need to trade back. We just don't have enough to fill what's on offense and defense, what's needed. Even though a lot of these guys are backups, they're backups who I would like to be starters, and we need to rebuild this wide receiver core. And one thing about free agency that I think is going to be difficult is actually signing good wide receivers.
I'm digging it, man. You got
Preach, bro. Keep it going.
We need 2 starting receivers. I don't know what happened to the thing. We need 2 starting receivers, a backup running back. We need probably a flexible tight end there. Yep. I think we need another starting tackle, but I digress because this is J2K's draft. We need a backup and a starter, backup or a starting offensive guard. Same thing with center. Defense, we need a backup right defensive end, backup 3-tech, a backup corner, and a backup free safety. And this is his draft picks. And let him take it from here, man.
Yeah, and I would like to fill all these needs. These are far more needs than we have draft picks, so I'm hoping for some trade backs. And I've got some some idea of where some guys I'd like to pick up are. But yeah, man, if you guys are ready, we could roll to the draft.
Ron Winarski, we plan on being here for you guys on draft day. How are we going to do that? How it's going to look? And how long we're going to be here? We don't know yet, but as we find out, we will let you know. All right. Chris, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, let's cook.
All right, before this, let's go ahead and get a station ID in while we got it right here, gentlemen.
The best Chicago Bears content anywhere. Catch NomadLive pregame 1 hour prior to kickoff and NomadAtNight postgame, and every Friday evening at 7 p.m. Central on all the most popular streaming platforms, and only on the Nomad Network.
Everybody, we are in the starting blocks, and we're about to take off on our race to 2,000. Man, we just help us knock down these goals for us, man. Really, I mean, the energy that we get from you guys every day and the support, man, is crazy. I think 30 subs overnight. I think it was about 30 overnight, man. That was crazy. But we just enjoy it all, man. We keep the energy up, man, and keep liking, subscribing. If you're new to the channel, and share the content every chance you get and help us get out there. We appreciate all the love from you guys. But let me be quiet and let Chris and J2K take over.
J2K,
Let's go.
you are now ryanpoles, sir. And we're at the first pick of the draft. We have picks 1, 9, 75, 111, 123, 143. And we also, the phone is ringing off the hook, my friend. Looks like we have offers from the New England Patriots for $334.68, first and second next year. Atlanta wants $843.74, first and second next year. Minnesota $1142.109, first and second next year. Denver wants to give us $1281, first, second, and third next year. And of course, Magic Johnson. Oh wait, not Magic yet. Vegas wants to give us $1344.77, first and second next year. And there's Magic.
There it is. Let's do the Washington deal.
You want to pile on asking for something else?
No, that's fine.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure?
Yeah.
I'll bet you they'll give us 138 too.
Hey, if you think so.
Oh,
See, there you go, Chris, being greedy.
No, wait. I'm
Greedy,
going to get another
Being
pick.
greedy.
I'm getting another pick. I don't care. They're going to give me one of these.
I thought this was J2K's.
Oh,
No, I'm all with that. 181.
Yep, and they took Caleb Williams. Hey, looky there. Arizona, come calling. What they want.
I think they wanted
They want
Marvin
Marvin
Harrison.
Harrison.
And I don't want to give him up, so we're going to take Marvin Harrison.
Okay, so before you do that, I'm just KevinWarren. But this is two first
See,
and a
here we
second.
go. Here we
That
go.
is two.
Nomad, you see what Chris is doing, right?
No. Hey, don't get him started. I just wanted to remind him that is two first and a second. So,
this is a ridiculous trade, by the way.
It is an awesome trade. And here's why I'm not going to take this trade. The reason why is if they move up and they take Marvin Harrison, I do love neighbors. But after this draft, it's Keon Coleman is the next X receiver that I see in this draft. And then it's what? Brendan Rice? How many other X wide receivers do you actually
Brian
see?
Thomas Jr.
Brian Thomas
Brian
Jr.
Thomas, yes. No, he's another good X. Yes.
He is.
Okay.
With this, you could probably get both neighbors and Brian
I
Thomas.
just wanted to point that out.
Yes. No,
And
absolutely.
I knew kids would say something. But
Absolutely.
sir, you tell me what you want to do.
But as much as I really do like Brian Thomas, and I know some people disagree with me, but I have him and Odunze as being very close together.
Mm.
I have Brian Thomas much higher than most people do.
Mm-hmm.
I got Odunze just a little bit lower, but not by much. So I do want to be. I honestly just really want Marvin Harrison Jr. I think that the quarterback he had at Ohio State last year was terrible. And if he had a good quarterback, he would have lit things up, and there would be no discussion about, oh, what about maybe neighbors.
I get it.
So
are we rejecting this?
we are going to reject
what he
this
said.
trade,
Let that man cook. Let that man cook.
and we're going to take
All right.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Second pick
to
in
the
draft.
bank. We're going to get him
Marvin
a gold
Harrison.
jacket as the
You
day
are-
walks into House Hall.
You are now Chicago Bear. Drake May, Joe
All right.
Alt, Bowers, Neighbors, Foster.
There you go, Chicago. You got yourself some MHJ from J2K.
Mm-hmm. Here we go. Pittsburgh wants to send us the 20th, 51st, and 121st for
Okay.
number 9.
Now, this is a very tough situation here because I know that JPJ has been going before 20, and he might fall to 20, and I might risk it. But there is,
Look where he's at.
yeah, he's right at 20. I have tested another route. I've done a lot of mock drafts, obviously. I'm gonna throw this out there. But how would you guys feel if I took Rome Odunze as well as Marvin Harrison Jr.?
I would not be mad at you.
Wow.
Hey,
Crazy.
stand on your own 10 toes, man.
Yeah, man. Do what you do. Do you for sure? 100%.
Yes, sir.
I think we need to double dip at. It wouldn't surprise me if they took 2 receivers early. I think it'll be receiver, maybe offensive lineman, and then receiver again.
Well,
So that's a real upgrade to the offense, though.
Yes.
I can't
2 seconds.
can't argue with that.
2 seconds, 2/3, and these are both fourths, I believe.
And also keep in mind, not a lot of people talk about it. DJMoore is only on contract for 2 more years.
Mm-hmm.
So we do need a plan for that. Now, in this situation, I am going to take that trade back.
You are going to trade back? You want
Yes,
to
I
counter and
am.
ask for anything else?
Man, you just you want a little more on the top of everything.
I'm
Give me
greedy, man.
sprinkles.
Don't let him remote control you, man. He's shicey, man.
You just want to take it? We can just take it if you want.
I'll just take it. At
right.
some point, look, there's only room for about 12 to 14 draft picks on our roster from what I did in free agency and the cuts that I made. So I don't want to blow this draft out of the park with 20 picks. I want to be somewhat realistic here. So I'm gonna take this trade, and I am gonna attempt to still get JPJ.
What up, Triple R? By the way, that's Triple R shouting
What
everybody.
up, Triple R?
Yo, big up Triple R, man.
Yep.
Triple R in the house.
Welcome in. Thanks for coming, bro.
118.
There he went. Okay, that's okay. We're gonna recoup here. So we're gonna pass on this trade for now. Just hide that. Let's see. We may get even Brian Thomas here, but scroll down a little bit. All right.
There he
Yeah.
is.
You got to get him.
Let's take Brian Thomas here.
All right. And
Oh,
it
Justin
keeps
Fields
it
is
turning.
I'm digging it.
Cooper DeJean, Marius Mims.
This is where.
Oh, Robinson went already.
Yep.
That was
He's been
one of my
going in the
guys.
first. There's Corley.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, I never got a chance to really ask you.
Yes.
What do you think about? I think I have asked you, and you said something to me in the chat or something.
What was
But what do you think about Braxton Jones? To me, I think he's a swing now. I think you need another stud there.
You know, if it was my call, I would get a left tackle high in this draft. But I am trying to draft the way I think Poles drafts. And I think he believes in Braxton Jones as a starter. Now, I do think that adding competition in case he doesn't take that next step up is very important. And I will try to. We'll see. And we'll pass on these 2 trades. I don't like either one of these. Now, since I didn't get JPJ here, I am going to take Zach Frazier here. And I know it may seem a little early because there's other guys here that are a little bit high, but I don't want to lose out on basically my 2 top centers in this draft. And I really like Zach Frazier.
All right.
So lock it in.
pick again.
Good
4
pick.
picks.
Very good pick.
Here's Leonard
you.
Taylor. Here
All
we go.
right.
Ooh.
Now we're cooking. All right. Let's see what these trades are. I'm pretty sure I'll pass on both of these because I've got someone. Okay, we're gonna hide this.
There's a first rounder right there.
I know that's rich, but there's a guy here sitting here that I really want. So you're gonna scroll up, and Nomad, you are 100% right because this is a guy who I absolutely love as a left tackle. I love watching his game. He does kind of remind me of Braxton Jones and how athletic he is, and that is Kingsley Sumatiai.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
His upside
Is that who you want?
Yes. Nomad, go ahead.
His upside is so tremendous. I mean, when I tell you this dude, if he's coached right, he is gonna be an absolute wall. He is gonna be a wall. I mean, he's got feet to match it too. It's not like he's a big lumbering. I think he's like 6'7" or something like that. But man, oh man, this dude, his upside is so high. I mean, he can be an absolute dominant force on the left side in the next couple of years.
Jay, any interested in that one?
No, we'll hide on this. And a real quick thing about Kingsley is that I watched a bunch of stuff of his, a bunch of tape and stuff. There was a play that he made that was not going to be on a highlight reel, and it was a running back busted up the gut, and he's running downfield, and the running back ends up getting tackled from behind, and Kingsley is right behind him. He's not blocking anybody. And I'm like, why is he sprinting behind the running back? And as soon as the running back goes down, Kingsley runs over and picks him up, and because it was a big run, and he lifts him up into the air like he's so happy that his running back just made this huge play. I mean, it just the football character is off the charts with Kingsley. I love that kid.
And he just I mean, you look at him. I watch interviews of him. I watch film. I do it all when it comes to that to really get an insight into who and what kind of person he is too. And he's such a big giant kid, man. He's just a big kid. I mean, and his maturity level is that of a kid, but he's gonna grow up in this league and become a man in this league. And as he does that, man, I'm telling you, his upside is so tremendous, man. I can't say enough about it.
Absolutely. And what a great situation he's walking into where he doesn't have to be a day one starter. He can be behind Braxton. He can push Braxton. If Braxton doesn't play to where we need him to play, we've got someone right behind him. And then also don't rule out him moving to offensive guard. He would be such a good guard. He's so athletic, but
I think he's Philly's offense left tackle waiting to happen again.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
I forget his name all the time, but that's all I kept seeing when I was watching him.
Nice. I'm in agreement. All right, so since we missed out on Darius Robinson, guy who I loved in this draft, I do want to get a defensive end in this area, and we can scroll down or go to defensive ends. Doesn't matter. Let's go to edge. So, wow. Braylon Trice went. They kind of jumped the gun on that. Look, I love Adesanya Isaac, and this is going to be my pick here. I think he's really underrated. I've been saying that this guy could easily be a first-round draft pick. It's just going to take some time. I noticed how much in this mock draft where they had him ranked, I think they had him ranked in the 90s 2 weeks ago, and now he's at 46. So I think people are 49th, and I think people are starting to catch on just how good this kid can be.
My thing with him, I think what they're going to have to do, I'm not saying they won't be able to play him. They'll get him in spots and in rotation. I think what's going to be evident at 244, 245 pounds, they're going to have to try to muscle him up so he can capture that edge. This ain't college, man. You gotta really got to capture that edge. Some big offensive linemen out there, and he, quite frankly, will get moved around if he's not on pass specific downs. You know what I'm saying? I think you definitely got you something, and you can build with him and grow him in the next couple of years and turn him into what you think he could be.
In addition to that, Nomad, he's 6'4", and he's got insanely long
Oh
arms.
my God,
So
like pterodactyl arms, man.
absolutely. So there is so much room for this kid to grow up. And I know at Penn State, they really like their ends, their rushers to be much lighter. I think Micah Parsons, I think Chop Robinson. I think they've been holding back weight from this guy, saying keep your weight low. I want you explosive and athletic because sometimes you're going to be out in coverage.
He's got a 6'4", he's got a damn 6'4" frame, and so the space to pack on some muscle is absolutely there.
Yes.
So J2K, did you notice Tyler Nubin up here?
Oh yes, and I do really like Tyler Nubin, but I value the defensive ends earlier just because I've got a ton of safeties throughout this draft that I really like, and I think right around here is when defensive ends start falling off the cliff.
You're right.
Isaac is the pick.
Yes, sir.
All right, there he is, and we'll pick again at 67. Nubin just left. Devondre Sweat, Trey Benson. He went before Trey Benson.
Hey, Chris, good job not trying to force linebackers.
Man, I'm not saying Trey Benson went to Green Bay.
We haven't gotten to the linebacker yet. He's up here. So
coming, I bet you.
Okay,
right around 75. We're here.
Green Bay wants to send us 81 and a third for third rounder next year for 67 and a sixth.
We're not trading with Green Bay.
Oh, there's a ton of picks for 67.
And we'll pass on Denver.
All right, Denver. All right.
I wonder who they might be after there. Who's at the top of that thing? Is this the all? Yeah, that's the top, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who might they be after?
Who was the pick for? Who was
the damn show ain't no linebacker, man.
Green Bay was one, and then Denver was the other.
If I had to guess, let's go down a little bit.
Maybe Cedric Van Pran because they lost Cushenberry.
Yeah, that's a good.
No, don't start, man.
That's running back, Chris.
I think Braylon Allen is a great pickup somewhere up in here.
Braylon Allen he's got really good feet for how big he is. He is an exceptional runner.
Incredible. It's almost alien for a dude. Last time I seen a dude like that with feet like that big was with Garrett Blunt, and he got championships where he went.
One of the great underrated runners, man.
And he gets from 0 to 10 so fast, and nobody wants to get in front of that. I don't give a damn how tough you think. I've had to do that, man. I'm telling you, that is a daunting sight to see a big 240-pound, 6'3", 6'4" dude coming out of the backfield bearing down on your ass. I'm telling you, that is a sight that you do not want to see if you 5'10", 185 pounds, man. I'm telling you.
I'm with Chris.
You praying to Jesus at that point, man. Just trip on that turf, something, man. I do not want to tackle you.
Business decision.
What do you think?
I'm with Chris. Where do you think you're going, J2K?
Okay, so I've got a guy in here that I absolutely love that I think even at this spot, I think he is insanely underrated. And he is my number 2 prospect at this position. So Brock Bowers is the number 1 tight end. Ooh. My number 2 tight end.
He's going to go with the kid from either Penn State or
Ben Sinnott.
Ben Sinnott, yep.
Oh my God!
All right.
I've been watching so much of him, and I absolutely love this kid. You can lock that in.
The more you watch, the more you like, man.
Oh yes, because I mean, he's
underrated tight end in the draft.
He's my number 2, and that's even above Sanders.
All right, we're back up. They're offering us a floor to move down 8 spots. Matt, I'm sorry, move down 12 spots, and that would be the Cowboys. The second pick is the flip-flop. They want to give us the 7th next year, just the flip-flop.
I'll pass on both of those.
Yeah, I would too.
They're having a whole conversation in the chat about Sewell, Sanborn, and all those guys.
Hey, Keith, how am I doing so far?
You're doing pretty good, man. I'm actually liking these picks. Yeah.
Double down at wide receiver, and I think I got some offensive linemen to fill. And
how many picks do you have?
You got me. You definitely got me with Isaac. Okay.
He's still got a nice little way to go there.
That's 6.
Yeah, let me shut up because you didn't ask me to do this.
Oh, no, man, you can tell me.
No, don't let him.
Doing all right?
Don't let him.
Only thing, if you were to solicit my advice, I would say
Yes.
this is a good place to start, kind of stacking, maybe doing some trade backs.
Trade
Kids,
backs.
you hear him?
Gotta get the
Solicit
offers.
my advice.
You
Gotta
know,
get the
yes.
offers.
You know what though? I'm gonna say that's probably the first time I've ever heard Nomad suggest a trade back.
That's not, man.
Actually,
Stop it, man.
That's a
I'm
great
telling
suggestion.
you, you're
No,
usually like,
Hmm.
you know. Anyways,
We're not
when
getting,
it comes to-
any great offers to pick up any.
yeah, there's nothing nice there right
Actually,
now. Like,
Nomad's
you could
onto
trade.
something,
So what?
and I've been
Go ahead.
doing this.
That
Go-
fourth next year might not be bad.
Yes.
What were you
Okay.
gonna say, J2K? Go ahead.
All right. Go to the next trade. I've been doing this. Is that you go to 76 and you re-roll your trade options. So we might get a really good trade on the next round.
So you want to accept this one?
Yes, let's accept it
All
let's
right.
see what we get. Good call, Nomad.
That's a good time to do it.
Spentler Trappler.
See?
We got Miami offering 82 and a 5th rounder next year.
Doesn't do much for me
And-
now.
See, they just want to flip flop next
All
year.
right. Yeah, pass.
Yeah, you need some stuff for this draft.
Yeah, that's
Nothing
what I'm
special.
looking for.
Mhm.
So, okay. So what we got left is we're looking safety,
You wanna
free
look at safeties?
safeties. I think offensive guard, running back, and D tackle are
Are you still in your
J2K, I got a question for you.
yeah.
How do you feel with our 3-techs? You think we're okay at 3-tech?
I think Dexter is our 3-tech. I think
Okay.
that's Flus's style of 3-tech. And I'm with with folks that, like, when I first thought we getting Flus and we're going back to this kind of Tampa 2, Lovie Smith, I think of Tommy Harris. But I've learned that Flus really wants this Dexter mold, and the guy he had in with the Colts, Indy, Buckner.
Now, what do you think about the new coordinator? Now, the new coordinator, he went with a more smaller, quicker, more dynamic 3-tech in Ed Oliver, and so a guy just trying to think in the mode of what might be going on in Hallis Hall.
Mm-hmm.
I could see right here in this area him being able to convince him into a. I'm telling you guys, man, I'm gonna type this name in the chat, but there's a guy by the name of Marcus Harris out of Auburn. It's probably, I think Leonard Taylor is the best 3-tech there, but he is the most underrated one and could have the better upside than all of them. Marcus Harris is a stud from Auburn.
He's a 248.
Nice. Well, that's also brings up another point. I do think there's some late D tackles. Like, I like Gabe Hall, and I really like Justin Aboybe. I like Keith Randall. Where was the other? Dwayne
good.
Carter. Yeah, Dwayne Carter. Braden Fisk. I really like him as well. I do think that defensive tackle is something I might. Well, I'm not sure. I'm kind of a little all over the place on D tackle on where.
I asked you that because I'm a big Dexter fan. I like Dexter. I think Dexter's going to have a breakout year this season.
Yeah, I'm not in favor of taking too many snaps away from him.
Right.
But he can move up and down the line too, so you need somebody that can pop in there.
Talk about Tommy Harris. I got to say this one more time. I every time somebody mentions Tommy Harris, I get to looking at Marcus Harris, and I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you, people that take the time to actually go do the homework on Marcus Harris, they're gonna come back telling me like, "Damn, no man, you were right." I'm telling you, man.
All right, J2K. You said safety, offensive guard,
D tackle, and running back. But I think I have a good sense. Well, let's just look at running back. I've got guys in the later round, Marshawn Lloyd and Ray Davis, and you'll see when I get there. I think I've got a spot for the running back I really, really want. Let's look at offensive tackle, and I wanted to bring this up because one of the things I like to do is I like to build when drafting, I like to draft outside in. So I'd rather draft an offensive tackle, and if they don't work out offensive tackle, I move them down to guard, and they're often a really good guard when they're an okay offensive tackle.
Sure.
Sometimes guards, you'll notice that guards coming out of college, they're often a little bit smaller. They got a little shorter arm length, and sometimes I just value the offensive tackles a little more. I love Karan Amejici here. We're not going to draft him, but we'll get to that.
I was just
go to-
impressed you said his name. I've been
Yeah.
Who, Bellissimo? Yeah. You must have heard Ray Davis
guard. Go to offensive guard. Let's see who we've got left there. Pooney, he's a little big and he's a little bit slow. I don't think he fits this offense. I love Brandon Coleman and Christian Mahogany. Brandon Coleman, I wouldn't rule out him playing tackle. He played left tackle all through his career. This website's got him projected as moving inside, which it just goes back to my point of moving tackles inside. That's why I really like him, but I think we could get him a little bit later, and I'm fine with getting Christian Mahogany if we don't get him. So let's go to defense and go to defensive tackle. Let's see what we have. Braden Fisk, Carter, I both really like those guys as well, but I do have some D tackles I like a little bit later.
Marcus Harris is probably already gone.
No, he's not. He's like at
284
projected to be a free agent.
Go to safety.
I do like Zion, man, but I just want to know what that. I'm talking to Bellissimo. He's talking about Zion Nelson. I just want to know what happened to him at Miami and what's been the hang, because he hasn't really played in the last couple of years much, and I just want to know why.
Right.
My mom, that was Bellissimo talking to me in the chat.
So, interesting situation, because I got a lot of guys that I want to draft, but they're a little bit later than where I'm at right now. So let's just go to all, and I want to see who's at top of the board, because I do want to see who I'm missing out on, and just scroll down a little bit, because I may just go.
What do you think of Peyton Wilson? I'll just do it for Chris.
Yeah, I know you're gonna get started. What you gonna do that for, kid?
I didn't say
Because if you're confused
he's the best player on the board.
Right.
Like at this particular part of the board, if you're a little bit looking for somebody with talent to draft,
Who just said
I
he's
like
the best player on the board?
I know
I
Chris
did.
likes him. I think he might be given what J2K is already selected. He might be the best player on this board.
Why in God's name with the linebacker?
Maybe James Williams.
Why in the hell would you draft a linebacker here?
Because he can also play
You can't
safety.
even
That
find time to play the linebackers that we have.
Right.
he could play safety
What are you
too.
talking about, man?
Hey, at some
good.
point you're gonna have to cut somebody who's making big money.
Just does that make any sense to you?
No, it doesn't. But
Don't worry about hurting nobody's feelings.
But I will say that best player available is important here, and that's why I'm also starting to think maybe a cornerback. So let's go defense and look at the cornerback list.
Bo Melton's brother.
I didn't know that until
Mikey likes it.
Who said that to me yesterday? That he's
I did.
I didn't know.
Now-
I did not know that.
Now, I haven't done a ton of research on cornerbacks. I think, what was it, the Wake Forest guy? I think he just went. Is there someone here at the top of this board that you guys love? I know a lot of people like Max Melton, but I think he's a little small, doesn't have the length for Flus.
Yeah, I think he's probably shorter than 6 foot.
Yeah,
He's a player though. His brother's a player.
He's tough, though. I tell you that.
Rutgers had last year.
So-
his brother was playing with him, and they had the running back from Kansas City.
All right.
So is he be okay with safety?
Let me ask you a question, J2K.
Yes.
What positions are you considering, and what's at the upper echelon of those positions right now?
Well, Right now, I'm actually really considering drafting Braden Fisk, the defensive tackle out of Florida State.
If you like him,
I love him. I
Don't-
really, really like him.
don't let me and my virtues get in the way, or Chris, or kids.
But I also like Karan Ameji. But I feel like there's some guards that I like at 111 that we could draft that could be very, very good. So I think we're going to go D-tackle Braden Fisk.
Okay, before still what question? Why is James Williams listed as a linebacker now instead of a safety?
Well, they changed because he's a hybrid player. I mean, he's going to play. He can play. He's going to be able to play linebacker and safeties.
Similar to Peyton Wilson. Okay,
Mhm.
all right.
Hey, Chris.
But
Yes.
he's much bigger.
He got kicked out to the internet. He should be able to still get right back in without me sending him an invite, right?
Yeah, the invite's still good.
All right. All right. So where we at? You did you go with Fisk there?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
So here's that opportunity to add some picks.
Mm.
You have to move down 24 spots, but you pick up 2.
Oh, you picked the
Interesting.
DC before.
You know what? Let's table this for a second. Hide that, and let's go to offensive line, and let's look at offensive guard. I want to see if Christian Mahogany is there.
Personally, I think that's too good of a trade to pass up, but that's me.
Yeah. No, I am thinking that. Let's see. Okay, let's do that. I also really like Isaiah Adams at guard as well.
You pick again at 121, 210 picks. So
Yeah. So
you're not gonna
okay.
have to fall too far.
Right. So let's make that trade.
All right.
Yeah, some of these picks are going to force you to have to cut some guy that you thought, pretty good thoughts about, like say your Dominique Robinson, say your what's number 22's name, backup free safety.
Hicks.
Yeah, guys like that, man, may have to cut to fit some of these guys on the roster.
Yeah.
There's Marshawn Lloyd for you.
Yes, I do like Marshawn Lloyd.
And your only pickup this offseason has been DJ Dallas.
Right. Let's go see if Mahogany is still there because.
And he is.
Okay.
Right there at the top.
Let's lock it in.
Lock it in?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll go down the big list just in case.
Why? Because he's probably worried about Tevin Jenkins' his football mortality right now.
I get that. Jermaine Burton it's back on the clock.
Yeah, and also Nate Davis, we do have out in his contract after this year.
Were you disappointed in Nate Davis, or did you give him?
No, I think I give him a pass. It was a really rough year for him, and I don't think any of it was really his fault. He played really well with I keep saying it, with the Titans. So
yeah, I mean, his mom died.
Yeah, and he got injured. I mean, it's just like everything went the wrong way for him. So I want to give him next year to prove himself, and I'd finish out of his contract if he is good. But I do want a offensive guard behind him, and also Jenkins, just in case of injury. All right,
we need that, man. We definitely need that. That was Cody Whitehair for a while, and he's not here no more.
Yeah, then we're out Cody Whitehair, Lucas Patrick, and Dan Feeney. So that's 3 interior offensive linemen. That's why it's so important for me to go offensive line in this draft here.
There was an article out today that, and I forget where it was from, them talking about bringing Feeney back possibly.
It wouldn't be a bad idea, man.
Okay.
I was going to say,
I hope not.
I mean,
anyway.
What does that mean for someone like Jatiri Carter?
Right, exactly. I'd rather go into this draft rebuilding the offensive line than bringing back Feeney, and yes, and taking time away from Carter. I still really like Carter.
Yeah, especially with the free agent signings you had that'll be familiar with the offense. So.
Yes.
All right. J2K, what you looking at here?
All right, now this is where I want to go running back.
There he is.
And we're gonna take somebody
Go down.
not named Marshawn Lloyd.
Oh, where's he going?
I know it may seem like a reach, and I'm glad that Berlissimo is in the chat because
Right
he
here.
turned me on to him. I've watched 6 games of him. I've watched interviews. Ray Davis. I absolutely love this kid. He reminds me so much of Thomas Jones with the jump cut. He's got quick feet. He's got
you watch interviews J2K because he's got a personality, man. If he came here, people would love that cat.
Yes, absolutely. And his interviews are like Thomas Jones. He runs like Thomas Jones. His interviews are like Thomas Jones. I mean, he's a professional. I mean, he's serious, but not so serious that he doesn't crack a smile. But he is all football. I mean, I see a guy who is 100% a professional, who he's going to be one of the steals of this draft. And from the games I've watched and what he was able to do and how he runs the ball, how quick he is, his vision, his contact balance, when he makes juke moves, when he does the skip step or whatever, he's got the it that I see. So I'm definitely taking Ray Davis. I don't care if people think this is a reach, but we're taking Ray Davis. I want this guy.
There it is. He's now a member of the Chicago Bears.
I think you're sniffing something there, man, because Ray Davis, the more tape you watch, only reason why he didn't make that list of running backs that we put up was because of the injury, and I just didn't have enough information on what it was and all that kind of stuff. But now being on the other side of that, get a little bit more clarity. You got a guy that you don't necessarily have to rush into the lineup. When you got time to get him healthy. If there's any kind of lingering effects of whatever he was going through, he's going to be a stud, man. He's the shifty that we were missing in the backfield, man. The lateral movement, the jump cut. We didn't have that. We've got straight one cut downhill runners, man. He's a little bit different.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely, 100%.
Here's a review of all your picks. You've got 9 players. You've got 5 picks left, and we're sitting at 135.
Okay, so now I want to start looking at safety. And let's see. I'm hoping my guy's still there, and he is. All right, we're gonna take Ketan
Oladapo. I could smell it.
Is that the guy we debuted to the world right here on Nomad on the Nomad Network?
Yes, sir.
We're claiming him, J2K. You one of us now, man. You got to claim him. We debuted this guy. We debuted this guy for the world.
And I know, and Nomad, I know you guys are on it with the draft and all that. I did also find him as well in my own special way, and I absolutely love the kid. I've watched a bunch of games of him. I've watched interviews. I researched his background, and just like Ray Davis, you're talking about a leader in the locker room, a professional. I love everything about the kid. Everybody's got some flaws that I could like nitpick and stuff, but this kid, he's got so much professionalism. He's such a mature young man. He fits so much of what we do. I absolutely love having this guy on the team.
You have any interest in this trade?
No.
I wouldn't either. Sounds like a bug in the software.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, you playing games, man.
Let me fall back twice. How much for the wife? I give
All
you
right.
2 goats. All right.
So now we're at a great spot here because outside of honest cornerback, we filled all my initial needs. And now for me, this is more about where can I add to this roster. So I think that we could add another safety to compete with Hicks. I think we can add another defensive end to compete with Dominique Robinson. We might be able to add another offensive lineman, maybe even another D tackle.
You want me to page through all the?
So you're gonna keep Dominique? You're gonna keep Dominique Robinson instead of cutting him?
He's going to camp.
I think he can go to camp, but I've got defensive ends around the spot that I think I would like to take. But yeah, if you want to just cycle through, we got time.
Yeah, let's cycle through. There's the top 6 QBs on the board, Joe Milton.
We got QBs. I think we're good at running backs, actually.
Okay.
Wide receiver might be an option. Oh, Luke McCaffrey's sitting there.
There's Luke McCaffrey, Taj Washington.
Yeah, and I do like Cowing. He's a speed receiver too, and there's a couple other guys I like late as well. I don't know if we can get by with another tight end because that's 3 tight ends on the roster. I do want to talk really quick about Eric All. If he didn't get injured in college, he'd be my number 2 tight end. I absolutely love that kid watching him. He played at Michigan for 4 years, and he had a nasty back injury. They called it a life-saving surgery when he had the injury. But he came back the next year, and he played for Iowa. And he looked the same. He didn't look like he lost anything, and he tore his ACL 4 games in.
Oh, man.
So, I mean, I'm watching this guy for the combines and medical and to see where this guy gets drafted. I'm not going to draft him here because I just think it's just too much of a risk. But I just wanted to say that, my heart breaks for that poor kid.
I imagine. There's our tackle, Javon Foster.
Javon Foster's sitting there. That's another possible one. Greenfield's, he's athletic. Christian Jones, man.
Ooh.
I don't know why he struggled so much at Texas because he's got the length and he's got the athleticism.
He needs to be coached, man.
Yeah, he might be just a coach away.
All right.
Guards. Mason McCormick. He played really well at the Shrine Bowl, and him and Greenfield played together in South Dakota State. I do like that kid. Another athletic guard.
Center Drake Nugent.
There's
your guy.
Kingsley, I really like Kingsley. Charles Turner, I like Kingsley more than I like Charles Turner, but Charles Turner actually has really good arm length for being a center.
People gonna learn about Kingsley, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Still some good deep tackles. Keith Randall and Justin Boygeby. So possibly another.
Tyler Davis is good too. I like Tyler Davis too.
Gabe Hall is a good player too.
Yeah, Gabe Hall too. I've really liked Tyler Davis from last year. I thought he was coming out. But the more I've watched him, the more I kind of feel he's kind of just where he is, and there isn't a ton of upside. He's had some injuries. I don't know if that's played into that. I was hoping for more out of him this year. So anyway.
There's your edge.
Zion is a target for me. Absolutely. And then let's look at corner because
how many picks we got left?
Oh, we got 4.
5.
And I'm writing down the guys I like so we can.
We got more. We got 4. You're correct.
Yeah, so we can kind of move through the remaining picks.
Okay, you want to look at corner? You say?
Yes, please. I do have some late guys.
Corian Patterson led the
You
nation.
can never go wrong with corner. You can never go wrong with another corner.
There's a good guy, man press guy, Renardo Green.
What kind of corner are you looking for? You looking for a boundary corner? You looking for
Green?
More of a boundary guy. And I've got 3 guys that are late: Pritchett, McLaughlin, and Brownlee that I was researching. And I haven't done a lot of film review on these guys.
Nehemiah Pritchett.
But they all fit this length, height, speed, production, zone aspects of what I think Flus is looking for, Poles and Flus. I think I could go with one of those guys a little bit later in that draft, so maybe I'll mark down cornerback, and then go to safety.
You know what I do in this spot?
There's a freak right there.
Yes.
You know what I do in this spot? I look at the position groups and see who's the highest value player in each position group, because that's where you're at right now, J2K. You're in a spot where you're not really drafting a need, and so you're looking for quality and upside at each value position group. So I go from spot to spot. So I'd start DT, go to edge.
There's some value right there. That's what basically what we did. Malik
You know,
Mustafa's a freak.
Yes, he is. He's very athletic, but from what I watched, I thought that I wouldn't say he looked lost, but I thought that he took a lot of odd angles, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's a work in progress, and I think he's a little bit shorter than what
Yeah,
is
he's
listed.
5'8" or 5'9". Yeah, he's probably
Yeah,
about around 5'9".
he's actually pretty small
Yeah,
for
that's the only thing that turns me off with it.
right, exactly. But he
Knowing
could
what,
be a player.
knowing what we know about the kind of traits that they look for, this would basically be saying this is the kind of guy I want instead of thinking in the mindset of what they probably prefer.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So I think
okay.
that's everybody.
Yeah. Let's go to all, and then let's just kind of scroll down a little bit because I think the next pick I'm going to take is going to be maybe Keith Randall because he's the next listed here.
Keith Randolph.
Well, okay. Let me ask you guys, and I'll poll this: Keith Randolph or Justin Boyd?
Justin Boyd.
Easily Justin Boyd.
Okay, I do agree.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Let's go, Justin Aboybe.
He's got the bigger upside than anybody that's sitting there. They got some decent ones. Not Keith Randolph. Sometimes there's a lot of people that might think Keith Randolph could be better than Johnny Newton. It's people who would think that.
Yeah, going into this year, I actually was really high on him. But I think that Newton kind of stole the spotlight, so to speak.
Yes, he did.
Okay. And Chris, can you just show me who just went actually, as opposed to, Javon Foster, that guy's off. So, okay.
That's who went.
So I think the next
nobody
guy
took Hampton yet?
No, Hampton still, I still got time for him.
Yeah, he's way low.
That is ridiculous.
Let's, I think McCaffrey was the next guy I had listed. I really like Luke McCaffrey's game. Let's lock that in.
Yeah,
I'm going to take Luke McCaffrey.
He's a guy you can trust.
Yes.
All right, next pick, 181.
Okay.
All right. 2 picks left.
I think it's shaping up good. I think when we see the whole body of the picks that he's picked, I think it's shaping up pretty good. He's touching everything he needs to.
Yeah, and I think we're getting depth to what we actually.
I
was looking for.
Need that.
There's that linebacker.
Here you go, Chris. Leave him alone now.
I'm just saying, there's a very good value in that linebacker right there.
Leave him alone.
Right. Okay.
I'm looking for Dominique Hampton myself. That's who I would take.
Chris starting to get a little anxious. He's starting to point.
There's a developmental quarterback at the top.
Here you go again. Here we go. Hey, J2K.
I ain't said a word. He been talking this whole time.
Ain't 10 toes last time I checked, man. Stand on it.
I was probably more of a fan of Melton until the Senior Bowl, and I think I've come to the conclusion that I think he's very inaccurate. I thought he was inaccurate in college, from what I watched, and I think I'm out on him. I just don't know if he's got all the tools, but I just don't think he's accurate.
Can he be coached up?
Maybe, but is accuracy something you can coach up, or is that a feel?
Oh no, you can definitely coach that.
All right, well,
absolutely.
I'll lean on your guys.
Definitely sharpen a guy.
There's
So I got 2 guys left in my mind.
Bellissimo's guy left.
Let me say this real quick.
Bellissimo had a guy at quarterback.
He said he's got 2.
Hold on,
guys left.
Let me tell you something. I'll tell you the perfect story for how you can coach up accuracy. You know who was wildly inaccurate when he came into the league, drafted high in the I don't know if Geno was he was drafted very high. Geno was so wildly inaccurate. And now he's one of the more accurate quarterbacks in the league. Absolutely. The numbers, you can just look at the numbers. The numbers will tell you. Look it up on your phone. Geno Smith is one of the more accurate quarterbacks in the league right now.
He is.
Oh, now he is. Yeah, yeah.
No, it wasn't that wasn't the case when he came into the league with the Jets.
Right.
He didn't get benched for nothing.
Okay.
Same with Drew Lock. You know.
You said you had
Okay, so I'm gonna leave this up to. Let's discuss this because I've got 2 guys that I would like to take, but I think we might lose out on one of them. So my question for you guys: do we go Zion, Tupuola, Fatui?
Well done. I applaud that.
Muck, hey, Muck, you're
almost
right.
said Zoom tight.
Muck, hey, Muck, it did take some years, but he got there. No matter how long it took. You saying that Joe Milton might take some years for him to get accurate, but you know what I mean? It's opportunity and time to mature and all that kind of stuff plays.
All part of development, baby.
That's right.
Now, go to defense. I want to see where Dominic Hampton.
Yes,
248.
yes.
So he is there.
That's okay. That for some reason he's low on here, but we know that
Right.
that's not going to be the case.
Oh wait, it's 218. That's
218.
248.
It's ridiculous how low he is here.
Right.
is it
something's wrong with the system.
Right. Is it possible
Yes,
that I
like
lose
that.
out on him at 201?
You could.
Yes.
I've seen him go way
Yes.
higher than 218.
Okay. And then really
Yes.
quick, Nomad, and to everybody in the chat, this isn't just me being a fan of Nomad's insight, which I am, but I went and watched him, and I am 100% on board.
Dominique.
Yes. I can't
He's
believe
good.
this guy is this far down.
You take him now. You
His-
take him
You're
now.
talking about 6'3", somewhere in the neighborhood of 220,
Man.
moving like a boundary cornerback and a slot cornerback, and he plays every last one of those positions.
Right. Hits like a linebacker.
He hits like a
Thumper.
linebacker.
He's a thumper.
Right.
That's why
So-
you go get that, man. You go get that.
He scheme. I mean, he plays in the same kind of scheme that we teach here.
Exactly.
Washington. If you want to go and get a DB that fits what you do, you go and draft a Washington DB. You draft an Iowa DB, and I believe the next team up in that conversation is probably Minnesota. They play.
So let's play
similar.
devil's advocate. Let's play devil's advocate for a moment. We franchise JJ, right?
Yes.
What if we can't come to an agreement on JJ?
in real life.
We haven't addressed that. We have not addressed that. So that's why I say you go get Hampton.
You talking about in real life?
Yeah. That's why I say you go up and get Hampton at 181, man. You can't go wrong with that.
I think he's a steal here, man.
Right.
You can't go wrong, man. Because we
So-
got to think realistic. JJ might be looking for 21, 22 mil. We're not going to give him that. You know that.
JJ is a corner now. He's not technically Dominic Hampton isn't a corner, but he can get you out of a game if you needed to play him at corner.
Well,
So-
this is the thing. You can move Stevenson over, right?
You could.
All right.
I'm just thinking out loud.
And then we got Smith, right?
Yes.
We just got. I just think
Tyler.
a talent.
Yes, cook it.
A talent like Hampton. We talk now. Let's talk about best athlete right now. At that particular position.
Let J2K go ahead and pull this trigger, man.
No pressure.
Yeah, no worries. Well, the reason why I ask is that I really like Zion. I would love to go Zion and then Hampton here, but my concern is losing out on Hampton. And after Hampton, I don't see any other safeties that I value that much.
You got two
You
6
just
rounders.
answered your
you can
own
move
question.
Back up.
All right.
You got a
Well,
couple 6
Go
rounders.
what
you
you
can
got.
throw in there and-
Yeah.
and move
Well,
back
but
up.
here's the thing: is at this point, how many picks do I have? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I'm at my roster limit, in my opinion.
Go what you got.
I mean, as much as I'd love just to talk more prospects with you guys, I do want to keep some realistic reality here. And I do have a defensive end I would like to draft and talk about that is later than Hampton.
What was your
So-
first instinct telling you to do?
First instinct,
Fatui?
See, you got if you had to say you thinking about it too much.
Well, my first instinct was I really wanted to share with you guys my final draft pick.
Okay. Who is
So
it?
let's go with Hampton,
Boom.
safety, Washington.
Let's do it, Chris.
All right.
Lock it in.
Keep your drawers on, son. No man.
It's a hell of a pick, man.
And really quick, no one is talking about Trey Taylor out of Air Force.
Oh yeah, we talked about him a little earlier in the year.
Only reason people keep
and Josh Proctor.
The reason he's not on the radar is because he played at Air Force.
Yes, and also teams went away from him so much that it was hard for him to actually be like making plays on the field all the time. But
that makes him even more valuable, in my opinion. But
yeah,
he's a tough ass kid, man. I know that.
Yes.
Hey, listen, Baki's gone. I thought he made
and I love Baki too. What a fun kid,
Chris, I'm gonna hurt you, man.
Say what?
If you mention a linebacker, I'm gonna hurt you.
Man, all my linebackers are gone, man.
Hey, real defensive over there, but
right. I'm like, ooh.
Omar Spates. Omar Spates is a bad boy.
Nice. All right, so with the final pick,
this is your last one. Who do you got, J2K?
I got to take this guy because when I found him and I started watching him, I thought that his college team did him dirty. They moved him from defensive tackle.
Who are we talking about now?
I'll tell you. I'm building suspense.
Just don't.
My bad.
He's setting the suspense, bro.
Okay, my bad. Go ahead, bro.
The ambiance. So his team did him dirty. They moved him from defensive tackle to outside linebacker, and they played in a 3-3-5. And it just didn't make any sense, except for the fact that he's so athletic. He's the longest. He'll probably be a defensive end, but possibly defensive tackle. Will go back to defensive tackle. He's got longer arm length than Darius Robinson does. When he goes to the combine and he gets measured, he might be, or he probably is, the longest, tallest, or longest length and longest wingspan when they include the chest of anybody out there.
You got to be talking about Baptiste.
Nope.
Nope.
Is this a DT or edge?
No, he's the edge. And click on edge.
Then he's talking about damn.
You're gonna scroll down. I brought him up the other night in the chat, but I know you guys, hard to see the chat all the time.
You got me.
All right.
Here, man.
Yeah.
I think 3-5. I'm thinking Michigan.
6'5", 280. The guy is super athletic, and he's playing out of position at outside linebacker. And this is Miles Cole from Texas Tech.
Was he?
There he is, right there.
There he is, right
Look,
there.
and then click on this. How many guys have a write-up this late in the draft?
Very good point.
Yes, and this whole thing where they say lacks instincts and explosiveness. Okay, the instincts, sure, because he just got moved from D tackle to outside linebacker. But the explosiveness, that's baloney. The guy is absolutely explosive. He's super athletic. He runs plays down from behind. I love this kid.
I'm gonna have to write that name down because I'm not.
Please, yes. And
Miles Cole, yes.
Miles Cole, lock it in, and he fits everything that that Flus and Poles look for.
Miles with the Y.
Well, don't forget about now. You know what, J2K. I've been harping this. I know you've heard me harp the hiring of Eric Washington.
Mm-hmm.
I think this guy would fit in from what you're saying. I'm gonna definitely do my research on him. But if he's what you say he is, and the fact that Eric Washington likes to do a lot of stunts, might pay off.
Absolutely, he would be huge on stunts.
Is that our pick?
Yes,
he said lock it in, man. That's what he said.
Cole, you've now went from undrafted free agent to 6th-round picks. Welcome to the Bears. All right. That's be it. We'll pull up the final results here shortly, gentlemen.
Let's kick it around for a minute while he's doing that. Sometimes every now and again somebody will come on here and do a mock draft and pull a name and it's kind of hard to get one past me because I'm like a maniac when it comes to this kind of stuff. But but that's a name that's new to me, and I'm not scared to admit that. And I am gonna go check him out because he does have the measurables. I think I saw 6'4", 6'5", 279, I believe.
Yes.
And so that does shape as the measurables of what Flus might be looking for. Now, is his now just give me a heads up on it.
Mm-hmm.
Does he bend well?
Yes. He's extremely athletic. That's why I think they moved him to outside linebacker, because he can play outside linebacker. But he looked robotic. The way his back pedal was all choppy, and he's going to this zone and he's going over here. And he's thinking, and you can just tell. And the way I found him was I downloaded all the measurements out of the Shrine Bowl and the Senior Bowl, and then I highlighted all the top guys. He's got 36 and 3/8 inch arms and an 87-inch wingspan. And just to give you an idea, out of all the other,
that's like praying mantis type fucking. Excuse my language.
The next guy that's even close to him has 35-inch and 6/8 inch arms and 84-inch wingspan. He has an 87-inch wingspan. I mean, this guy nobody is even close to this guy outside of Darius Robinson. And then when I put on the tape and I saw that he was an outside linebacker, moved from defensive tackle, I just think, Ryan Poles is just, this is a guy that they can absolutely coach up.
Joseph Matuzak is checking him out right now. Joseph, give me an update and tell me what you're seeing. He says seems to have a good motor and good measurables. Does not have a good low balance. Plays high.
Yes,
that's something.
Lots of coaching.
Yeah, that's something. Definitely a coaching thing right there. You can teach a kid to get his pass down and play. Beneath them, and it's basically what they teach you is get your pads low and play behind them. If you got your pads up, you just you're a moving target is what you are.
Yes, sir.
But, all right. You want to go through your draft right quick?
Yeah, absolutely. So right off the bat, you get Marvin Harrison Jr. and Brian Thomas Jr. That's just rebuilding the wide receiver core. And I'm going to do this a little bit interesting because I want to just stick to like the offensive side first, playmakers first. We got Ben Sinnott, who I love him as a tight end because not only is he a really good blocker, he is a very good blocker, but he's got fantastic movement skills, and guys bounce off of him when they go to tackle him. He has fantastic hands, arm extension, hands catcher. He is my number 2 tight end in this draft, even over Sanders, but I do think Jatavian Sanders is a different type of a player. He's more of your wide receiver, move only. But Ben Sinnott gives Waldron exactly what he wants. He wants a tight end that threatens the run game, but can be a weapon as a receiver. And then we got Ray Davis, who he may sit on the bench until there's an injury or until next year, but I believe in this kid. I believe in him as a locker room leader. I think that he is a reincarnation of Thomas Jones. I think everybody is going to absolutely love this
that's saying
kid.
a lot.
Yes, sir. And Luke McCaffrey, I absolutely love his game. He's a fiery player. He went from quarterback to running back to wide receiver in college. He only has 2 years playing wide receiver in college, and he looks like an absolute natural. I've seen this guy one-hand catches. He's pure hands receiver, extension of the arms. He runs great routes. He is physical. I've seen 3 plays of his in the end zone where he came down with the ball, battling a DB. The DB rips off his helmet 3 times. 3 times I've seen this. Rip his helmet off, and he comes down with the ball. He's fired up. This guy is jacked up. And he's the brother of Christian McCaffrey and the son of Ed McCaffrey. Is that right? Ed McCaffrey? Anyway.
You got it.
Yes, sir. And then offensive line, we've rebuilt the offensive line. We do have a starting center, but now we've got a center who can back him up, and I believe will be the starting center probably in a year. We've got Kingsley Sumatai. Wait, I messed that up. Sumatai. Anyway, it's a tough one, but he's going to press.
I just call him Kingsley.
You nailed the other one before.
Kingsley he's going to press Braxton Jones, but there's enough upside in him that I think he could be a starting left tackle in the league. So I love that. Christian Mahogany is a fantastic offensive guard, and there's also some rumblings about him being able to play center as well. If we need it. I just love the positional versatility. He is also a aggressive mauler. Same thing with Kingsley, and same thing with Zach Frazier. I got 3 guys who are aggressive on the offensive line. I was going to cuss, but I'll still say
thank you, sir.
I just love these guys, and I wanted to emphasize that. And then you flip over to defense. Now, I do think that we walk in day one with the free agency having a solid defense, a playoff caliber defense. Adisa Isaac is someone who I think will start off as a situational pass rusher, but there's enough height, length, and skill and bend. The guy's got bend. And if you can add another 10, 15 pounds. Yes, sir. Thank you. If you can add another 10, 15 pounds to this kid, then I think you could have a starting defensive end in the NFL. Braden Fisk, I do really like him. I do know that there is some work that he does need to do, but you can't coach the hustle. The explosion, the first step, he's got the size. He's very aggressive. He's also a fantastic special teamer. So when you do go watch highlight film of Braden Fisk, you will see him on kickoffs and punts, and he is a blocker in these plays. And he's running down step with step with the returners, and he is laying wood to people. That's one of my favorite things to him. There's also, because of his skill set, he's such a good blocker and so quick that there was talks about him actually playing fullback at the Senior Bowl, but I never heard if that actually came to fruition. Safety, Katana Ladapo, he's a great leader. I've already said a lot about him, but I absolutely love the kid. He's going to fit great as a backup and get to learn the NFL. Justin Aboigbe, defensive tackle, 3-tech that can grow into that role. Dominique Hampton, I mean, you can't ask for anything more this late in the draft. He's someone who's probably going to replace Hicks. He's going to be a monster on special teams. And if ever Brisker gets hurt, we can slide him in there. And I don't think
ever.
Well, he does. And then Miles Cole, he's just someone that I think really fits Poles. What they're looking for as a type of a player is he's a ball of clay, but he's got the NFL size, athleticism that you look for, and he just needs to be coached up at one position. And I trust in Poles making that call.
All right. I'll tell you what, guys, because I know everybody's got a mouthful, but I know it's going to take the next 30, 45 minutes to an hour to get everybody's take on it, because I'll just be quite frank with you. How about this, fellas? Let's just go around and just keep it real. Let's just keep it short and analyze what you thought of it, and don't be so judgmental, and just give your take on it. But we just remember we had an hour and 50.
I hated it. I'm just kidding. It's awesome, man. I'm just playing with you, J2K. Straight up and down, you got exactly what you wanted to get out of this draft. You got power on the offense and power and depth on the defense. That's really what it looks like to me in a nutshell. Not only that, you targeted specific human beings here that you believe are going to make a difference on the Chicago Bears roster. So, more power to you, man. I loved it. I thought it was awesome.
For me, what you did, I want a nasty offensive line. I want some guys that ain't gonna take no stuff. I'm trying to watch my words too. But I want some guys, man, that for whatever reason, man, you a late hit or anything on our quarterback, whoever that is, we're not going to accept it. So I like the fact that you really addressed the offensive line first and foremost. And as far as your skill positions, you did the thing, man. You definitely brought my attention to a couple individuals that I'm going to do some homework on. But all in all, I think it's a very good draft. Very good draft.
Thank you.
Hey, you got Marvin Harrison and Brian Thomas Jr.
Man, look at here, right there. You got me sold, brother.
That's it right there, bro.
Are you kidding
Yes,
me?
sir.
And you added the guys you added later. I mean, in Oladapo, Justin Boydby, you got good value at the bottom of the draft. Kill the bottom of the draft. And so, I mean, with that many picks, and you picked up Washington's first rounder next year. So, mission accomplished, brother.
Thank you.
So here's my take on it, and I've been thinking about this for the past 10 minutes. Watch this thing shape up. Samuel's draft comes to mind when I start thinking about the best I've seen so far since we started doing them. Not to say that anybody else's draft wasn't good, but that one kind of sticks out in my head. I think this is the best one I've seen so far, and I'll tell you why. And so Samuel ended up with several who I thought were blue chip talents in his, and you did the same thing. But to get Marvin and Brian Thomas Jr., these are the blue chippers I can point out. I can't say for certain that I think Zach Frazier can be, but I can't circle him here. But Brian Thomas, Marvin Harrison, Kingsley, I think Adisa is a blue chip. I think potentially Ray Davis could be it when he's healthy. I think Boydby could be. I know Dominique is. And so count those. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I think actually Ben Sinnott, so we'll add him to it. 5, 6, 7, 8 blue chippers, in my opinion, in this draft. And I think that's lights out.
Yeah.
That's called rebuilding your roster right there. Mm-hmm. Those are guys that I consider blue chip talent. I'm no professional scout. I'm no professional GM. I'm just a guy with a podcast, but I do know football. And I'm telling you, those guys are extremely talented and can change your football legacy the minute they get to your team. And so every one of these guys, I think they are all good picks. I could sit here and try to pick, some guys that I wouldn't have picked. No, that's not what I'm here for. I'm telling you, this is the best looking draft that I've seen thus far on the Nomad Network. And I give you credit for that, man. It's a really good looking draft, and you can't really complain about any of it, to be quite frank with you.
Thank you.
And so, yeah, I'm not saying that because you're the guest here. I mean it. I think it's a really impressive draft, man, and it's not far off of what I would when I do a mock draft at some point after free agency. It'll probably look similar to that, man. But Lord, getting Marvin Harrison, getting Brian Thomas Jr., getting Kingsley, my God, Adisa Isaac. Oh my goodness. I mean, Dominique Hampton, some of those guys, that's an outstanding draft, man. So I just hope everybody enjoyed it, man. And do me a favor if you can, Chris, if you can give that to him in a file and so he can put that on social media. I know you're not big on Twitter, J2K, but I think people will enjoy that.
Thank you.
J2K was Cedric Van Pran at the Senior Bowl this year?
No. Yeah, and I think he missed an opportunity.
I got to say, Bearlissimo's picks, he had that second one he did was really impressive too.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, kid.
His draft?
Yeah, his draft was really good. That second one was really good.
Yeah, the reason I'm asking about Cedric Van Pran is his stock is dropping a little bit, and I think it's got a lot to do with him not going to the Senior Bowl. It would have been great to get some more looks. Hopefully his stock can rise a little bit at the combine too.
All right, you guys want to go around the board, man, because we sitting up here getting really close to 2 hours, man. We got to get ready to start tie this baby up into a bow and put it under the tree as a present. So we'll start. J2K, you up at the top, man. You want to give any pleasantries before we get out of here?
Yeah, just thanks to you guys for having me on. I really enjoyed this. This is what I like doing, talking football, talking draft picks, prospects. So yeah, thanks to you guys and thanks to the chat. Those are guys I hang out with all the time. Those are my brothers. So I just appreciate everybody for being here, being around. I love this community, and I can't wait to just see where you guys get from 1,000 subscribers to the sky's the limit. So I'm here for it, and I can't wait to see it all go.
Go ahead, kid.
J2K, man, thanks for coming. Thanks for showing out. No Maniacs, thanks for doing the exact same. keeping it live in the chat, cussing out J2K, propping up J2K. It's all good. It's all love, and thanks for coming out. Your picks, J2K. I'm pretty impressed with what you were able to put together. You got, again, a lot of the specific targets you were looking for. That being the case, I wouldn't have any troubles with that being the the 2024 Chicago Bears roster. Chris, what's up?
J2K, I want to say this, man. You have set a high standard for guests on this show. You came prepared. You had your own graphs and picks, and you was ready to go. And then you killed the draft. So
Yes,
I just want to tell you, man, I appreciate your acumen, and I appreciate your talent, and I appreciate you sharing those with us. Everybody in chat, you guys know I love you guys, man, and thanks for supporting us. We're almost at 1,100 subscribers. Can't tell you, how good that feels, man, that you guys are just hanging in there with us and supporting us, and we hope you continue to do that. My other brothers on the panel, love you guys. See you again real soon, and to bear down.
J2K, my brother, it's always fun when we get a chance to chat it up in the chats when we are visiting other sites. But more importantly, thank you again for coming and joining us tonight. I know Maniacs, as always, I love, seeing you guys make your comments and jumping in from time to time and throwing my own little 2 cents in. For my brothers on the panel, as always, I enjoy chopping it up and talking Bears football with you guys. And I just want to say thank you again for hanging out with us for 2 hours, man. I mean, you guys are awesome, man. And thank you, thank you, thank you. So with that being said, Nomad, you can go ahead and give them famous words, brother.
Well, I gotta give J2K don't start blushing, man, because I want to say this to people. I think it's important that you give people context and insight to different relationships that we grow out here in this Bears universe, man, in this sphere of content creation. And we didn't always see eye to eye, man. In fact, we had a pretty abrasive back and forth between each other. And that was it's probably I would accept more majority of the responsibility for that, and I will own that. And what I found out about J2K, and I'm just telling everybody this, is that the more I started paying attention to the words that he said, and it wasn't always directed at me. I watched him chat with other people, and different virtues about who he is as a person started to come out, and I started to see him differently. And what I found out in the big picture is J2K is a kindred spirit of mine. He's a peace loving guy, always thinking the right thing. He just wants to see peace, love, and growth on this planet, and what he could do to help generate that or help, manifest that in the world. I think is important to me. When you get through, looking at me as a football person, that's great. But as a person, as what do I bring to this earth, and what do I bring to this planet? What's my spiritual place here? J2K and I think I recognize something in him that's really impressive, man. The person that he is, that I believe he is on the inside, is much like who Bearlissimo is to me. I found out that too. And Bearlissimo and I kind of had a little bit of a history like that as well. But I found out that that's a loving guy right there. And I love people that love. That I really do. I love people that love. That's what I'm attracted to spiritually, for people that love. And so I found that out about J2K, and it might be a surprise to him because I've never said it to him. But really, I really do respect who you are as a human being, man. And I just want to say that to you. Besides how well you did with this draft, you knocked it out. And I just wanted to make sure you heard that out of my mouth. And I do really respect that about you.
Yeah, so, and I'm really happy with where our relationship is.
Yes.
I know we did start off a little bit rocky, but for me, sometimes so much gets lost in the chat and text. And when you get to talk to someone, you get to learn who they really are. It's so much different, and that's why I'm here, Nomad. I mean, I was here day one, and I've been here ever since because I believe in you, not just making this podcast work and grow, but as a person, I think you're a caring, loving person as well, and who knows a lot about football, far more than I do. And I just love learning from you and talking to you about it and growing myself as a person.
I definitely appreciate
Oh,
that.
geez, you two should hug it
yeah,
out.
I know.
Jeez Louise.
They can't let
Oh,
a moment
no.
go by. They
Right?
Oh, you guys they can keep
That
trying.
was beautiful. And we're gonna have to donate a wheelbarrow for Nomad
Send
to
us
carry his head
some
around
flowers
in.
while you're at it, man.
Hey, we came, to be honest, man, we came a long way. I thought that was necessary, man, to put that out there so people understand where we are right now. It's a different place than where we started, and I enjoy the interactions now. But yeah, that being said, man, I do appreciate everybody for being here. Really enjoyed the draft, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I have, because I was all the way into it as you were, man. But hey, man, it was a great show, and we'll be back tomorrow at 1:00 tomorrow. Tomorrow through Thursday, we'll be doing 1:00 shows. So right after CHGO, we'll be coming on with Sean, and hopefully Kaz will come in there and peep in there and give us a hand too with Keith and whoever else we bring onto the show, man. Look out for us at 1:00. We'll try to keep it there for a little while. I think we went into the 12:00 space to see what we can generate, and we came up roses, man. I think people really supported us and showed us a whole bunch of love, and that's telling us that we're in the right place doing the daytime content in and around that slot area. And I think 1:00 is going to serve us well. It's right at the CHGO, so look forward to that tomorrow, 1:00, 1 p.m. Central, man. So with that being said, again, thank you guys for being here, being active in the chat, being engaging, man. We love it. J2K, thank you for being here. And we're gonna talk to J2K some more. I'll just say that after the show, and we'll take it from there. But before we get out of here, man, I gotta leave you guys with these famous words. Love, peace, and hair grease, y'all.
Bear down.
Boom.